Hello, universe. Welcome to the most spectacular wrestling podcast you will find on the internet. You are listening to Tag Me In, bro. I'm Joe Tantillo, and as always, I'm seated next to my terrific co-host, Taryn O'Connor. Say hi to the people, Taryn.
Hi to the people, Taryn.
If you're new to the show, the format is simple. Each week, we discuss all the magnificent moments, turbulent times, and stunning surprises that professional wrestling has to offer.
So turn your radio up and your opinions down, because we've got some hot tags coming up NXT, which means next.
Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
What's up, universe? Joe Tantillo here. It's time for the best part of your week. It's Tag Me In, bro, coming to you live from Buffalo, New York. Spring has sprung. Happy May Day to all of you listeners out there. We are in the wake of the greatest Royal Rumble. We are on the road to, and the finish of the road to, Backlash. A lot has happened in the last week of wrestling, and we have so much to talk about today. But one thing I want to talk about is a big shout out to all of you listeners out there, because we have just hit 4,000 followers on Twitter. That is massive. We are only 3 months into the show. The rate at which we have grown is spectacular. I just want to thank each and every one of you, because we love talking to you on Twitter, conversing with you, debating with you. It's just so great. It adds to the experience. We love it. If you like the show, tell your friends. A lot of you have been going online and rating us on iTunes, which is super helpful, because if we have a 5-star rating, it boosts us up, and it has been amazing. The praise that you guys have given us, I don't even feel like we deserve it, but we appreciate it. Thank you so much. We're going to keep producing great content for all y'all as best as we can every single week, bringing you that good wrestling chat. But folks, you don't want to miss out on 1 second of Tag Me In Bro content, so go on Twitter right now and follow us at Tag Me In Bro. Join the other 4,000 people that are on there. If you haven't already done it and you listen to the show, what are you waiting for? And if you're a wrestling fan and you're not on Twitter, I gotta say, you are missing out on a lot. The wrestling Twitter community is incredible. It has completely revitalized and reinvigorated my love and passion for wrestling, and you make a lot of new friends, which is great. Now, I hope everyone is excited for the show, because it is about to go down in a big way. Today, tomorrow, and every day, we are talking wrestling. First things first, we'll cover the Raw Rundown, where we'll give you our analysis of the most important bits of last night's show. After that, we've got our Hi to the People segment, where we engage the audience to find out more about your views on who will win at Backlash. After that, we take a trip to the Indie Corner, and then we move on to our main event, where we'll be talking about the question on everyone's mind this week, and then we close out the show with our Stars of the Night. And the question on everyone's mind this week is, who will Team Tantillo pick to win at Backlash? We'll be talking much more about that in the main event, but first, let's get to that Raw Rundown. Here are the only 5 things you need to know about Monday Night Raw this week. Number 5, Bobby Roode vs. Elias. Number 4, the Canadian hometown heroes get a huge pop. Number 3, Roman claims victory. Number 2, Sasha Banks vs. Ruby Riott. And number 1, Finn Balor vs. Seth Rollins. Let's start at the bottom of the list. Number 5, Bobby Roode vs. Elias. These two continue their feud from the previous week in a match that went on a little bit too long in my opinion, but was actually not bad. Very interested in this feud and the potential that it has, though. I said this last week on the podcast, I've been saying it on Twitter, sincerely hope that it culminates in a double turn. We gotta get back to heel Bobby Roode. The $1 billion man was a great gimmick. I loved him throwing his wealth and his being better looking than us and his being stronger than us in all of our faces. And Elias is so over right now that he really doesn't make sense as a heel. Now, he could make sense as a cocky babyface, but we're just cheering him too much. And despite the fact that he is, very, very good at generating heat, and he's sort of like Baby Miz in that way, I wouldn't mind him having a short little face run just to get Bobby Roode over to the dark side of the Force. Number 4, Canadian hometown heroes get a huge pop. So Raw was in Montreal last night, and let me just say, this crowd was raucous. It is the way the crowd should be every single week. They were cheering the right things, they were booing the right things, not like what happens after Raw after Mania, where they tell us, sometimes you cheer the guys you boo and all that nonsense, where they make things up to make sure that people think that Roman's popular for some reason, which he's not. But he kind of is, with crazy Twitter people who we are sometimes one of, because sometimes we love Roman, but sometimes we hate him. I don't know, it's a complicated relationship. Who cares? Anyway, the Canadian guys went down to the ring last night, being Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Jinder Mahal, who is in fact from Canada and not from India. If you didn't know that, well, spoiler alert. They got huge pops. It was great to see them getting cheered, especially Sami Zayn. The crowd was super over for him, singing his theme tune. He is a Montreal hometown boy specifically, which was awesome. And then Kevin Owens did a little promo in French, which was great. It's always good to see heels get to play the face in their hometown, except for, of course, The Miz, who doesn't. And when he's in Cleveland, he says he lives in L.A., and when he's in L.A., he lives in Cleveland, blah, blah, blah. He's the best. Anyway, that's that one done. Number 3, Roman claims victory. Roman Reigns has decided that he won the steel cage match for the Universal title, which means he's going to have another fight with Brock. Just please, stop it. Please. Just... I don't want to watch it anymore. I don't care. I hate Brock so much, and I tried to like Roman, and I cheered for him, but then they didn't even give him the title. And what are you doing? What are you doing to me, Vince McMahon? Come on, stop it. Ugh. And also, if you watch the video, Roman's foot is tangled up in the apron, and so his feet didn't actually even touch the floor first, which I think they were supposed to, and they botched the whole thing. It's just somebody call Matthew Botchamania guy, because it's just, damn it. Moving on to number 2, Sasha Banks versus Ruby Riott. What a great match this was. So for those of you who have not been following the progression of Ruby Riott, we started a little cold on her. I thought she was okay in NXT, but lacked character and really didn't see what she could do in the ring. Now, she's been in the indies for a long time, but I think she's really stepped up her game in the match she had with Sasha, and take nothing away from Sasha because she is excellent, despite being a boring babyface at this point. Ruby Riott was spectacular in this match. It was really, really exceptional execution. Aerodynamics, that's not the right word, acrobatics rather, and really impressed us from start to finish. It was one of the better matches on the whole show. Would have been match of the night, actually, if it were not for our number 1 spot. And our number 1 spot, of course, is Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental title in what was one of the best damn matches on Raw in a very, very long time. The last time I can remember being so excited about a match on Raw was when Roman fought, I think it was Cesaro, back in November, and that was pretty good, but I wasn't even close to this match last night. This was like a pay-per-view caliber match. It was the level of match that you would expect out of these two guys, being two of the workhorses of the WWE. I really didn't know who was going to win. I had a feeling it was going to be Finn, then I thought it was going to be Seth, then I thought it was going to be Finn. Lots of false finishes, but in a very different way. It was like these two have been wrestling for so long, they know all each other's strengths, they know all the special moves, they know all the counters. It was just awesome. If you haven't watched it yet, absolutely go onto Hulu, watch the replay. It was just fantastic. Can't give enough praise for these guys. They are carrying Raw. Finn was starting to act a little heelish. They might turn him, which I think is a good thing, even though I don't mind face Finn, but if you haven't seen heel Finn, go online, watch some of his stuff from New Japan when he was the real rock and roller. It is just tops. Absolutely ace. He kills it as a heel. And Seth is the top babyface in WWE. You guys believe that? We asked you in a poll a couple weeks back. You voted yes. We think he is. He just... And I know that's including AJ, and I would still say that Seth is the top babyface in the WWE. I don't know why. He's more facey, I guess, or babyish. I don't know. But he's got this appeal about him, this charisma. He really should be the face of the company. AJ's a little too old to take that spot, as much as I love him. But this match, again, capped off Raw and was phenomenal. Go online, watch it. It was excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, that was your Raw Rundown. We thought the episode was pretty good. Let us know your thoughts on social media. And speaking of social media, it's time to say hi to the people. This week on Hi to the People, we want to know your thoughts on who is winning at Backlash. This is the official fan predictions. If you've been listening to the show the past couple of weeks, you know we have a new versus prediction series where it's Joe versus Taryn versus the fans. And last time, the fans won. It was the first ever time. So the fans hold the official Tag Me In Bro Universal Heavyweight Championship. So you can bet your asses I am coming after it. So you guys better be accurate with your predictions, because last time you only beat me by predicting that Braun Strowman would win the Greatest Royal Rumble match. It was neck and neck, but I took Daniel Bryan. I love him too much. That's my ultimate weakness, is I pick guys who I actually like. But you guys, you were excellent. So looking forward to see who you're picking this week. And we will be going toe-to-toe once again. You can vote on Twitter by tweeting at us and using the hashtag #HotTag, or email us at tagmeandbro@gmail.com to share your opinion and maybe have your thoughts read out on the show. And every week we'll read out some of our favorite responses. Talking about the results of last week's topic, we just did. You guys won. There weren't any funny responses. You just voted and you beat our butts. So congratulations to you. That's what makes it fun. Now we got to step our game up and take that title back off of your shoulder and hopefully bring it into my camp, though Terrence's going to be coming for it as well.
is fine.
Let's take a spin down to the Indie Corner real quick. So, for those of you that don't listen to the show often, the Indie Corner, we make one non-WWE match recommendation per week. Sometimes we talk about it. Sometimes we just make a recommendation. We got a really long main event today, so I'm just going to make a recommendation. Go watch the match that Minoru Suzuki and Tetsuya Naito had recently. If you search Suzuki versus Naito, you'll find it online, or go watch it on New Japan World. It was very, very good. We're going to talk about it in full next week. So that's the Indie Corner for this week. Sorry it's so short, but a lot of things going on in the WWE world, so apologies to all non-WWE companies, but that is it for today.
It's Rusev Day. It's Rusev Day.
And now it's time for the main event. Today in the main event, we are delivering our official Los Ingobernables de Tantillo Backlash predictions. In the official versus prediction series after the Greatest Royal Rumble, the score stood tied for the tag team championships. Team Less Little Less Big and Team Los Ingobernables de Tantillo we were neck and neck. We were neck and neck through the whole thing. Nobody picked the right winner of the Greatest Royal Rumble match, which is why the fans ended up with the title. Also, they outpicked Tara and I, who are the team captains and represent us in that capacity. But joining me, as always, is my partner in crime and tag team partner, my real-life bro from the same Mo, John Tantillo, at BFLO Codebreaker on Twitter. John, say what is up.
Hello, people.
Dude, you're so weird. So weird every time. Every time I bring you on the show, you're gonna embarrass me in front of all my friends. Come on, man.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. We're just messing around. Or are we? Find out next week on Taco Destroyer. What is going on? That doesn't even make any sense. Right now, you're sitting at home. You're sitting in your car. Did the podcast change? Did it not change? No, it's still the same. I'm just a little weird sometimes. Anyway, it's been a long day. Let us talk about our predictions, but first, I want to talk a little bit about the Greatest Royal Rumble and how weird it was. Like, it was kind of good, but it was weird. Like, it was weird. It was weird that the women weren't wrestling. It was weird that we were just kind of ignoring that they weren't the whole time. And WWE's really trying to push hard how much progress they made and how they're a force for change and good, which they might be, but maybe not, because there was all those things about how people freaked out about them showing video with female wrestlers in it and how they promised they would never, ever show that again, which I realize is probably old regime. A new regime has to come in, but God, I don't know. What do you think, John?
Yeah, the whole event was kind of weird, especially the video that was circulating online of the crowd booing Carmella in particular with her money outfit. That was very interesting. But yeah, it was a weird event. There was a sumo wrestler for some reason. We're not too sure on that, but yeah, the whole experience was an experience.
I thought it was going to be more like a regular Rumble where people who had matches earlier in the night would still appear. So, like, we would have got Finn Balor and The Miz and, like, all these people we really wanted to see. And instead, it was the absolute dregs of the WWE roster. Like, one of the surprise people was Tucker Knight from half, the less exciting half of Heavy Machinery, which was just a confusing. Biggest pop of the night might have been Hornswoggle, who I was pumped to see. But when Hornswoggle's your biggest pop of the night, you know the match is probably not spectacular. And then, of course, you got Babatunde, who Michael Cole went, Babatunde from NXT, and everybody went, what? Because unless you actually go to Full Sail or live events, I had no idea who he was. I don't read a lot about, like, the people that are in training or who are, like, the results of live shows that aren't ones I see or on television, and like, I didn't know who he was. Dan Matha, we knew of getting beat up by Samoa Joe fame. Good for those guys for making their debuts. And, like, yeah, as you said, the real sumo wrestler who no one knew who they were. But now there's this story circulating online that the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia specifically requested Yokozuna to appear. So Vince just hired any sumo wrestler who kind of looked like Yokozuna to appease him, which I don't know if that story's true. It's really funny, so I kind of want to believe it's true, but it sounds like one of those stories that's an absolute stretch. But who knows? It was weird. Braun won, which was super predictable. They gave him that green belt that he immediately then wasn't wearing, so that just shows how important that actually was. But I mean, like, if you're gonna rocket strap Braun, then put the title on him. put it on him so that he can have his nice little face run, and then Drew McIntyre can beat him and be the heel champion that we all deserve and desire. Speaking of Drew McIntyre, him and Dolph really didn't do much on Raw last night. They did have that little promo, but God, I love Drew. I love him. He's my man crush right now. For sure. You're very quiet.
Sin Cara was in the Rumble too. That kind of happened.
Oh yeah, Sin Cara was in the Rumble. Wow. They really busted out all the stars for us. Thank you, WWE. But it was weirdly enjoyable, the pay-per-view. The AJ Nakamura match was the match of the night for me. Really, really enjoyed it. It was the match I wanted it to be at WrestleMania. A lot of people didn't like the double countout. I did like the double countout. I think that feud needed to be extended. Otherwise, we would be seeing the rematch this Sunday. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I think it made sense. That feud's going to go on for a little while longer. They're not quite done yet. Anyway, that's a lot about the Greatest Royal Rumble, but we're not here to talk about the Greatest Royal Rumble. We are here to talk about Backlash, because the road to Backlash has come and it has gone, and we are here. It is right. It is now. Nobody's ready for Backlash. Nobody. So yeah, let's talk about it. And we should also say, because SmackDown hasn't actually aired yet, and this card is possibly subject to have one or two additional matches added to it, since they added matches last night on Raw. If any additional matches are added, we will just submit our official prediction on Twitter, so just keep an eye on Twitter, but we'll make predictions now for all of the matches. And just a quick reminder of how points work. You get 1 point for any traditional singles match or traditional tag team match, and you get 2 points for any multi-person match, and you get 5 points for any Battle Royals or Royal Rumble type matches, which there are not any on this card. So, with that being said, without further ado, let's start with Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I will be taking Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley. I do not see them losing this match. John, what do you think?
I really don't care about this match. It's a very traditional random heel team versus random face team, but I'm also going to pick Braun and Bobby. There's a couple of reasons why. Braun being the winner of the Greatest Royal Rumble, I don't think they're going to want to make him look weak right after that big win. And it's Bobby Lashley's first pay-per-view match after he's returned, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I think faces go over. Pretty easy pick. I would like to see Sami and Kevin go over, but I don't think it will happen here.
Yeah, if this wasn't Bobby's first match back, I would say would be a chance that Bobby could be turning on Braun on this one to create a feud between the two of them. I don't think it's going to happen, but keep an eye peeled out. There's always a chance that if there was going to be a big surprise face turn on this, or heel turn on this, Bobby Lashley turning on Braun and starting a feud with him moving forward. It's not my prediction, but hey, it could happen. Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass. I'm going Daniel Bryan. I think that he didn't win the Greatest Royal Rumble because of Big Cass, and so I think this has to be his redemption match. I don't think this is going to be a long feud. I actually think Cass has already gotten a lot out of it. He's kind of dope now. Weirdly I'm into the new heel Big Cass. I didn't think I was going to be, but it's working, so steady on the course, but I think for it to continue to work, he needs to get beat this time, because I don't think it's going to do him any favors to pin Daniel Bryan. So, John?
I'm also going to make my official pick being Daniel Bryan, but there's a lot of doubt in this one. I feel like there's a world where Cass could cheat to win or even go over clean, which I think would be a huge mistake, but it's not entirely off the table. I mean, just seeing how Daniel Bryan has been treated in his previous runs, I would love to see him go over, and I think he will, but there's always that shadow of doubt whenever he's involved in something.
Up next, we have Carmella versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This is the rematch after Carmella cashed in successfully. I gotta go with Carmella on this one. I can't see them having her lose right away after the cash-in. I don't think Charlotte is destined to be in the title picture for a little while. I'm not sure who's going to enter the picture next. Probably Asuka, because she hasn't gotten it yet, but it could be Becky. It's not going to be Becky, but it could be Becky. The Iconic Duo could get involved. Who knows? But I think Carmella is doing great as a heel champion. I think she's going to continue this run for a little while. John?
I love Carmella, and I would love to see her win here, but as it turns out, every single time I have bet against Charlotte, I have been wrong. So I'm gonna take a stand. I'm gonna hold my ground here, and I'm gonna say that Charlotte is going to go over in this one and reclaim her title.
Okay. It's a bold move, Con. Let's see if it pays off. You're right, though. We do, when we bet against Charlotte, we usually do lose, but I'm betting against her again because law of averages, right? I guess. Anyway, Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship. I am saying Nia retains here. She is super over. I think Alexa had a very, very lengthy title reign for basically almost 2 years if you combine her SmackDown time with her Raw time. I think she is out of the main event scene after this, and she's going to step aside and let some other people do some work up there, and plus Nia's just great, and I want to see her squash Alexa because Alexa has been a little brat recently, and I'm not a fan. I mean, I'm a huge fan, but like I'm not a fan of the character. Like, you get what I'm saying? Kayfabe? Yeah, you got it. John?
I've been waiting since WrestleMania for Nia Jax to get her goddamn title plates, and she just got her goddamn title plates, and if she loses this title before the plates are on that belt, then I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna stop watching. I don't know what's gonna happen. But Nia's going to win, and she's going to get her title plates, and it's going to be a happy time.
AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Every single time Shinsuke Nakamura has been in a WWE Championship match, I have picked him to win. And every time, I have been wrong. And I'm fucking picking him again because he is gonna win. He is gonna win, and I'm finally gonna be right on this, and he is finally gonna be champion. I think that if he does not win this time, I don't think he can re-enter the title picture for a long time. So he has to win. He's gonna win. It's gonna happen. I believe it. I believe it to be true. I'm calling it. Yes. John?
Shinsuke's got to win. I couldn't have said it better myself. That's just Pinchasa.
The Pinchasa. That is the name of when he hits you in the groin region. I don't know who said that online. I think it was Corey. No, it was EC3. EC3 tweeted Pinchasa, which is hilarious. Yes. So, yeah, that is the prediction for that. And finally, Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe. John, who do you have on this one?
Same thing I said for Charlotte goes for Roman. Can't bet against Roman. It's too consistent.
I am betting against Roman. I am doing a wild thing here, and I haven't yet gone out on a limb for this card, and I've been pretty much with the expected winner for all of it. So I think my swerve that I'm calling is I think Samoa Joe is going to win. Roman has lost a couple matches recently, and there's some people that don't believe his push is over. I don't believe his push is over, but I believe it's lessened based on the recent booking. So I think Samoa Joe is about to get a huge push. So I actually think he's going to win and go over Roman. Maybe by, nefarious means, by like interference or something, and then Roman's going to get sneakily. Roman won't tap out, but he might pass out to the oh my god, I'm blanking. The Coquina Clutch. Yeah, I wanted to say the Kimura Lock, but I was like, that's not correct. The Coquina Clutch. Baby faces can pass out legitimately, so that's what I think is going to happen, and that is it. That's the Backlash predictions. So, let us know what you think on Twitter of our predictions. We know we'll be looking for your predictions, and may the best team win. That was a great discussion. We can't wait to hear any of your thoughts, and now let's finish the show the way we do every night with our Stars of the Night. Here are our Stars of the Night from Monday Night Raw, April 30th, 2018 edition.
You just made the list!
Number 3, Ruby Riott. She put on a instant classic against Sasha Banks. One of the best matches of the night. It was spectacular. She has improved so much in the ring, and she was already pretty decent, but she is absolutely a woman to watch in this division. I think she has a really bright future in the WWE as a heel champion, and possibly also as a face champion, because she was a face in NXT, and that was pretty good too. But her in-ring ability is spectacular, and I really look forward to see what she has to do in the future. Number 2 is Finn Balor. He is in the number 2 spot because he lost, but he easily could have been number 1. Put on a clinic with Seth Rollins. What a match this was. It would just, I was on the edge of my seat, and that doesn't happen that often on Raw, but I just love these two performers. They are excellent. They had dueling chants, let's go Rollins, let's go Balor, from the very second that match started. The crowd was behind it. The match was awesome. We saw stuff from them we really haven't even seen before. It was just great. And that being said, number 1 is Seth Rollins, the man, the architect, the Kingslayer. He's got more nicknames than Daenerys Targaryen. He's just so good, so talented, such a great babyface. He is the champion that we deserve. He is the champion that I want to see every week on Monday Night Raw. He's there. He defends his title. He gives us 5-star matches, or 5-star matches in my opinion, and he's just spectacular. So Seth Rollins, you're the number 1 star, and man, you deserve it. Well, that will do it for us here at Tag Me In Bro. Be sure to follow on Twitter at TagMeInBro and on Instagram, Wrestling Fashion. And subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Podbean, TuneIn, Google Play, YouTube, or wherever podcasts can be found. As always, we're eager to hear your thoughts, comments, questions, answers, so please let us know what you liked, what you hated, what you could give a damn about. For my co-host today, John Tantillo, I have been Joe Tantillo. Thank you so much for listening to Tag Me In Bro, and we will see you tomorrow for SmackDown Live with Taryn O'Connor. Goodbye, Universe.
Goodbye, Universe.